Hey, Crypto Code. Thank you. I'm not. Oh, I'm almost there. I'm so close. Some could say I'm like on the very edge. I'm edging on porting the Zig website, but very close. But there's like just two features that remain, and then yes, we can start the work, and it's gonna be, I think, beautiful. I also kind of want to get my ducks in a row, so like there's gonna be surprises and snags and issues while porting the website, but I want to make sure that like the main experience is smooth and showcases that things are improving when porting them to Zine. So it's like not just a random change, but an improvement. Hopefully. Hey there, Toyfel. Hello. So I'll be right back. Whew. So let me tell everybody what's on the plate. I did a lot of refactoring yesterday, like a lot. Now a lot of things look actually pretty nice. I was complaining about things not being super nice yesterday, but I think I gave it like um a good shot at improving things. So the build script now, which has the interface that people are expected to use, has pretty decent documentation. Um, and I've also added a couple more things that you can tweak that you couldn't tweak before. It's in really good shape. It's in really good shape. Also, I discovered that we need a couple more features to the dev server to account for all the different ways in which you can create a website in Zine. So there's that. But this is overall pretty good. Okay, so today's long story short, today's stream is gonna be like this. The new asset system, the asset system didn't exist before, because before we could get to the point of creating an asset system, we needed to get to a point where we could track those dependencies correctly. And I didn't have a way of doing that. I didn't know how to do it. I figured it out. We now have a way of indexing things, let's say. One thing that you can index are build time assets. so that basically the overall caching orchestration works as expected. What else? Well, that plus also but now this indexing system can be used also to index the website itself. And I was trying to achieve that also in the past. I just wasn't doing a particularly good job at it. So now we need to basically take the whole code that has completely regressed and implement it through the old like page indexing system and implement it through the new system. And at the same time, there's also some decisions, some design decisions that are like left a little bit in the air. I mean, we need to figure out what to do there. But to give an idea of where we're at, let me restore the weird tests that I was doing. So what you're seeing right now is this. It's basically us having the ability to refer to build time assets. So who is a build time asset? So you're like you have a lazy path that comes from your build time. In this case, it's just a simple echo command, and you can refer to it from your layouts. And this is how you bind a command to the website. Basically, this is like a hash map, and you put in here keys for every single asset that you want. And then you can do site.asset, and that looks into the contents of the asset folder that you have configured in here. So it looks at the contents of this directory. And maybe instead of assets, maybe I could call it data. I don't know. In any case, so you can do site.asset and assets. And I also gave the ability to parse a Ziggy file as Ziggy. What other type available for the build assets only constitute or something more? I'm not sure I understand that question. The build asset is a file on disk. So here you see me do echo hi Johnny, but this then goes into a file. So there's a file on disk that contains hi Johnny. So that whatever you put in a file, you can load. You can do .bytes to obtain the raw bytes, which for a text file has meaning. Maybe you wouldn't want to do .bytes on an MP3 file or on a picture. I don't have any specific built-in for those cases though. So like for now, if you have an asset that produces an image, then it's a map of lazy paths. Yes. It's a map of lazy paths. So I don't have, as I said, anything special for like images, but I do have something for loading a data Ziggy file as Ziggy. And once you load it as Ziggy, then you can get stuff from it. So here you see me get bar. And says 11 because bar is 11. Surprise. Change it to surprise. Now it shows up as surprise. Please show me how I can parse JSON in this. Right now, you can't. I have to decide what to do about it. I am tempted to do what Dartoffel is saying. annoy the fuck out of people and say, you know what, you gotta use Ziggy. That would be pretty funny. Well, no. I'll tell you something better. I'll tell you something even funnier. You don't even need to convert JSON because guess, I did not want to do this. But guess what? Guess what you can do in Ziggy? Wait, why am I not getting auto formatting out of this? That's annoying. I don't have the LSP. I don't have Ziggy configured correctly. But guess what you can do? Okay, guess what you can do? JSON is mostly valid Ziggy. So your JSON will translate to valid Ziggy. So yeah, you can use Ziggy. You can use Ziggy to load your JSON. If in your JSON you have weird JSON style escapes, those will not be processed. How to convert JSON to Ziggy? Man, I want to show you. Give me a sec. Give me a sec because I really want to show how to do this. This got stuck here. By the way, you're seeing the red message because I'm building in debug mode, and in debug mode, we keep printing this thing to standard error, and the web server thinks that this is an error message, so that's why it's showing it. Okay, give me a sec because I want to fix my editor, and I want to show you the cool shit that you can do. Ziggy roots, blah, 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 comment token, language servers, Ziggy LSP. Right, so I do have the LSP. Oh, I don't have auto format set to true. That's my problem. Okay, I think we solved it. Or maybe not. I might not have solved it. Give me a sec. How do I format Super HTML, for example? Language servers, Super LSP, Ziggy LSP, blah, 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 blah. Reload config. I restarted Helix. So the config did reload. Why am I not getting auto formatting? Oh. I think we solved it. There we go. Now we have auto formatting working. Okay, how do you turn this file into this JSON file into a Ziggy file? You give a name to this struct. The LSP doesn't like this at all because a struct doesn't use JSON style key value names. Like having key names be strings, it's like for dynamic maps. But even though the LSP really hates this, the auto formatter knows what you're trying to do. And so it automatically upgrades your syntax. And then you can ditch the curlies and reclaim a level of indentation. So that's one way. Another way is to use Ziggy convert. Ziggy convert. There's just one warning. It's not fully implemented yet. It can convert JSON, but it cannot convert TOML or YAML yet. So that's another way of doing it. We're not doing bad in terms of like ecosystem support, I would say. Dare I say. So what I was showing is, by the way, you can get the Ziggy CLI tool from the official Ziggy repository. Like if you go to the official website, and then you can find links. Do I have a page for Ziggy? There we go. This is the official website. Again, it's, how can I say? It's version 001. So don't expect everything to be perfect. Be aware that if you're using it, you're using, you know, something unstable with all the usual warnings, but it's gonna get better as we use it more in Zine. Okay, so what else was I trying to show you guys? So we can print the contents of build time assets. That's what says hi Johnny. We can build the contents. We can load an asset as data and query it. We can also inspect static assets and do a little bit of introspection on static assets, and also provide links for them. So the idea is that here I'm printing this link, but the idea is that this doesn't need to be necessarily need to be printed, but it also can be you know, used as the the source parameter for a thing. And sure, you can hardcode style.css in there if you want. You know, normally in other static site generators, when you want to hardcode a static asset, you just put the name of the static asset, right? Because it's going to get copied verbatim into the output folder, and that's it. Well, here's what you gain by using this stuff. And maybe I should show you the static and the link. I should show you the link built in so that the documentation can speak for itself. So we are looking at asset, and we are looking at the link built in. So link returns the output path where this asset will be placed. If the provided Boolean argument is true, the link will be suffixed with a timestamp query parameter, which can be useful as a cache busting technique. And it's this thing that you're seeing here. I don't know if we want to do it question mark and then just the thing. Maybe we want to do, I don't know, like t equals. But in any case, an additional reason to use link over hardcoding a plain string into the HTML is that link will return an error if the reference file doesn't exist, on top of taking into account any eventual URL path prefix. So the idea is, well, first of all, you can install websites under a subpath in the output. So this built-in takes care of that. But also, it is gonna warn you if the static asset that you think exists doesn't exist, which I think it's an amazing feature that normally other static site generators just don't have. Or if they do have, they have to do in janky ways. They have to do that in janky ways, and also it doesn't. Then if they do that, then you can't have escape hatches. Maybe sometimes you want to link to an asset that it's gonna be there in the destination on the website, but it's not part of this build pipeline. It's a completely different asset That you know you are managing externally and you're willing to take responsibility for that, but the system then starts annoying you that it doesn't see the asset at build time. So here you have it all. You have it all. You have all the safety that you can ask for, but then if you want an escape hatch, you can also have the escape hatch. In any case, and then finally, we also are able to access the contents of a static asset. And that's it. That's pretty good. Shall I say? That's pretty good. First implementation, lots of things that could be polished, but I feel like the UI is reasonable. What's missing here still is page.asset. Unfortunately, page assets are more complicated to model, and I don't know yet how I want to model them. Because page here you have like this very clear distinction. A static asset will be installed in the output. A non-static asset, something that is inside the asset directory, that doesn't get installed. So for example, link right now is only available on static assets. You try to do link on a non-static asset, that's an error. That's an error, right? There we go. It took it a moment. But yeah, that's an error. Expected one Boolean argument. Oh, god damn it. Yes, it's an error because it didn't give it a Boolean argument. But then, even if I do, only available on static assets. So yeah. Okay. This is kind of an overview of basically what we have for now. Next step is going to be, so we don't do page assets because those are complicated. I'm going to leave them for later. We do restore sections. So right now, here in this index file, up here, we should be looping over subpages, but there's nothing there. So we should be printing subpages, but there's nothing there. So we need to make this work. And the point is, we regressed it. Long story short. Also, I'm thinking of changing permalink to just link. Like, who cares about the perma aspect of it? Just link. Like, you can do link on pages. Like, you can do link on stuff that you can link. That seems reasonable. You know what? I'm fucking doing it. Page. Permalink. Link. Link. I'm gonna leave the secret attribute with the same name. Doesn't matter. So now this is link. Nicer. Nice. Bitly not found. Yeah, I changed it, dude. I did change it. Oh, Base has the same problem. There you go. Ba-ba-da-ba, okay. Let's make this stuff work. Now we have a conundrum here. We have a conundrum. Right now, right now, every single page pipeline is almost fully independent from all the others. There's initially the build script looks into the content folder, collects some information, writes it down somewhere, and then the build script configuration phase is over, and the individual jobs start running. And they all run in parallel. Every single page is its own world. Now, the problem is, if we want to be able to access metadata from other pages, basically being able to access the metadata from every single one of these other pages, being able to access that from being able to access that from everywhere, from every layout, like having a layout, for example, having one layout that is able to print as one page the entire website, we need to have a different dependency system. Cherry Ramatis, hello. Good morning to you. Basically, what we need is to first run all the Markdown rendering steps, each and every single one of them, to completion. And only then we can kick off the layout steps. That seems annoying to do, but also would make this thing pretty much what it needs to be. At that point, sky's the limit of what you can do. Whew. I see that you're using Helix. Do you have something specific to deal with file management or simply shell commands? Can you be more specific, Cherry? What type of file management are we talking about? Like, if you're asking something like, I don't know, you need to move a bunch of files, rename some files. Yeah, I close Helix, do that in the shell, and then reopen Helix. File tree, file browser, create, remove files. Yeah. Yeah, I do it outside. So as a file, there was a file tree. Let me see if I still have it. There was a file tree extension that I had, but I don't think I have it anymore. I never really used it. In all honesty, I didn't like it, so I just didn't use it. But there was one. I have a fork of Helix with a bunch of in-flight features that are not yet merged into main branch that are already merged in their, not always 100% fully complete state. And the file tree was one of them. I think the biggest problem right now with Helix is that it doesn't have, as far as I can tell, automatic detection when a file has changed on disk and automatic reload of it, that kind of stuff. So because of that, I don't know, it just feels safer to just close Helix for now and do things outside and then reopen it, so that things don't get complicated. Okay, let's look at how we invoke add all steps. Add all steps, we're done scanning, creates a Markdown render step, and then creates a layout render step. So this is done for the root index with special parameters. And then we do that in a loop for every section. We create this Markdown renderer step, and then we do the layout steps. Okay, now we need to change this. We need to change it so that there is one global Markdown step that we depend on, that then all layout steps depend on. This is gonna be so good, man. Oh man, this is gonna be so good. Huh. This is gonna be indeed so good. Oof. Okay. Now we need to create that step, huh? Let's look at how we do the Markdown render step. So Markdown render, pass in a bunch of things, and then we say that step depends on us installing these assets. Right. We depend on that, but then we return rendered ND and page metadata. We return two lazy paths. Where is it? Yeah, these two guys. Zine render HTML and Zine meta Ziggy. I would say that what we can pass down here is not the main step, but the index step. And we can say that the index step to be completed requires running this. That's such a good solution. So we pass down the index step. Okay, we pass down the index step. And so this, we know, will have to run before layout step depends on the index step, right? If index step depend on index step, oh, yeah, but now this is not optional anymore, pretty much. At this point, index step is not optional anymore. Oh shit, we have the optional here. Yeah, because wherever this is called, the index step might not exist because there might not be an asset index to write. That said, so this is indexing assets. Yeah, we can now return now. We need to return like an empty step. Are you listening to folks and pondering what they are saying, or are you just thinking quietly to yourself while pondering out loud occasionally? No, I'm doing the second one. Because I need to create some kind of step. And I think I will have to take somebody's suggestion on how to create like a how can I say, like crappy custom step, because yeah, we need to synchronize with other things. So let's see what people were suggesting, how people were suggesting to do something of that kind. So this was an install step. Yeah, I don't want it to be a top level. To be honest, I could, I could make it like I could make one of those things and then yank it away from the top level map. There's a top level step map. I'm honestly thinking of doing b.step and then nuking it out, like yanking it away from the top level hash map. Like, what's the problem in doing that, right? I think there was a suggestion from Felix at some point. Did he remove it? Just copy some of the logic from b.step. It's annoying because it refers to private types. Okay, this is not optional anymore. Now, does step need to depend on this? No, step doesn't even need to depend on this, I believe, because other things will depend on this. So this is fine as is. We can take this, we can change this. We can say that the index step depends on this. So, yeah, we need to yank it. There you go, top level steps. I actually don't know how you remove stuff from a map. I never do it. Fetch, swap, remove. Jeez. Okay. Ordered remove at. Deletes the item at the specified index in entries from the hash map. The entry is removed from the underlying array by shifting all elements forward, thereby maintaining the current ordering. Yeah, we want ordered remove at, which should be also fine because it's the last item. So, nah, I'm not gonna do that because I think that the ability to create custom steps is probably gonna go away with the either when the WebAssembly build system thing is going to get implemented, or I think that Andrew had very good reasons to nerf that capability in the future. Also, I don't really want a custom step. I just want a normal empty step. I want a top level step. It just shouldn't be visible to the user. You could just create the top level step manually then. No, because to create it manually, there's like private types that I don't have access to from the outside. Okay, so the indexing step depends on that. Now, let me think about it for a moment. The thing is, does this step need to be done before we can start doing Markdown? You know what? Maybe I'll have to do this in the future, but not now. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. While we're here, let's do it. Come on. Index content. Zine index build assets. There you go. Okay, so we have asset index step, and we say that our run step depends on asset index step. Okay. And then we say that the index step one sec. I'm confusing myself. So I think I'm doing something stupid. Yeah, don't confuse yourself. I am confusing myself. I drank some coffee, but it's yet to enter in the bloodstream. Sorry, new to Zig. Why use unreachable instead of panic during development? I'm reading debates from folks on one over the other. I'm trying to understand what is better for what purpose. That's a good question. So, Thumb, you're asking a good question. There is no debate, though. Like, there is nothing to debate. It's just a matter of understanding what does what, exactly what those things do. And you will find out that they have extremely specific and pretty much orthogonal use cases. So, or rather, maybe in a given situation, you might be unsure of which one is the correct choice. But once you understand what type of, overall behavior you want from your program, there's going to be no confusion there. So, let's see. Okay, I thought I could give you like a blog post, but I think I need to give you a YouTube link. From yours truly, also. So, of course, sending that message from there never freaking works. Why can't I should at least give my own user the ability to post stuff. Oh, I guess I can do it here. Oh, well. Okay. So there you go. No, that's not the right link. That's the wrong link. Why did the copy paste not work across machines? Remove message. So, okay, let me try to post my link again. Can I grant myself rights to post links to myself? No, of course. Yeah, sorry. Now that I'm having this problem for like the nth time, I want to see if I can fix it. Like stupid YouTube. Channel level settings. No. Are there commands on YouTube? Can you do /mod? Oh, yes. Okay, so here's what we do. Test. Now I'm going to see my own message. And I can do add as moderator. Now I'm a mod. Now, can I post links as a mod? Yes, I can. Jesus Christ. Success. Okay, so here's a link for you. Sorry, I thought there was a blog post for this, but I don't think there is. Let me see. No, I only have undefined. I think I only have a blog post for undefined. Well, since you were asking about the other two keywords, maybe you can also check this. It might be interested. It's not exactly the answer to your question. Don't worry. Don't worry. If I wanted to stay in flow, I wouldn't be streaming. Interacting with people and answering questions is actually one of the main goals of this stream. Match, surround. Wait. Match, surround, star, star. Oh, I have to do it again. Match, surround, star again. And then it puts stuff on a new line for some reason. There you go. Okay, we took a break from the confusing part. Maybe now with a fresh mind, we can go back into it. So what is the problem? The problem is Markdown rendering should depend on assets having been indexed. Yes. Well, you know what? We'll think about this stuff when the needs arises. Right now, we don't have this need, so let's do that. Let's just do that. So we create an index step. Now that I think about it also, why am I creating an index step? Because the index step needs to collect this thing. So we don't return run step, we return index step. Okay. Unused function parameter. True. Do you have some insider information when Ghosty gets a public release? I have minor insider information. I know that Mitchell is working on a website for it. Like actively working on a website for it. And he would not be working on a website for it if he wasn't ready to release it. And I strongly suspect that he will release Ghosty pretty much as soon as the website is done. Yeah. So this gives me an index step. And now this index is not optional anymore. So now we can pass it down here, and we can do that. We can say that the Markdown will make the index step depend on it, while layouts if there's an index step, the layout step depends on the index step. Now this is not optional anymore. There's always one. Let's say converted or processed, because it's a little bit analysis, a little bit of parsing, etc. Okay, so did we break everything? Of course we did. Why wouldn't we? Oh, Okay, we're back into working condition. Let me reduce the amount of span. There we go. Let's do summary. Let's see what the summary looks like. Come on, man. Run layout, blah, 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 options cache. We do have a step in there. Zine index content. Look, it even has a nice name. I like it. Zine index content. Index assets. Do the markdown. Run the markdown render. Okay. Install generated. Run markdown render. These run markdown render steps kind of suck. They, holy shit. There's definitely something better that we can use to name them. But in any case, this is correct. Yeah, this is now correct. So, with this in place, now we can make Markdown renderer Yeah, what does the Markdown renderer do now? I guess the Markdown renderer needs to write down where the analyzed stuff is. Or we don't give it allocation in the cache, and we immediately put everything in Zine's own cache system. Huh. Hmm. There's another alternative approach that I'm kind of, I don't know, kind of trying to not consider, but maybe I should consider. Which is why keep the Markdown rendering step a separate thing? Why not have it be part of the template layout process? It could be interesting to see how easier your path handling would get with using more lazy paths. No, I'm using as many lazy paths as I need. Actually, I'm using too many lazy paths. You will see that now I'm gonna remove some because right now I'm gonna remove some because I need to add some indirection in how Zine works. I cannot use lazy paths directly. Certain things are, I cannot make, like I need to add that indirection in order to make certain dependencies discoverable at runtime. It's the only way to make Zine work as it should. I'm honestly kind of tempted to say, why parse a Markdown file once and then do all this work to share the same file across multiple layout jobs? Why not just have the Markdown parsing be part of the layout process? Why not just do that? So like no Markdown rendering step. Just pass the Markdown path to the layout thing, and then that becomes part of it. And then if another layout needs to, let me think, if another layout needs to access the contents of another page, then they do their own parsing. Because ultimately, whatever we put down inside a Markdown, like if we, even if we render the Markdown once, you still need to load that file from disk. If there's any structure to it, you still need to parse that structure. So you're basically trading one parsing process with another one with just extra steps. Why even do that? Other than some sort of efficient data accessing, I would think the Markdown is inextricably intertwined, so shouldn't be separated at all. Well, you can separate it if you want. Like if you think about most static site generators, the way they work is that they first take the Markdown content, turn it into HTML, and then after that, they start looking at the HTML templates and they allow you to place the rendered Markdown file somewhere in there. So they always two-stage it. At least the ones, you know what? I say always, that's an overstatement. I'm thinking of Hugo as like the main example. So what I'm talking about is not unique to Hugo at all, but you know, it's different than saying every single static site generator out there, because some, like the JavaScript ones, for example, are like a clusterfuck of JavaScript. So who knows what happens there? Like actually, nobody knows what happens there. But for non-JavaScript clusterfuck static site generators, you have first a Markdown step, and then you have a layout step. And this is why I started with the same logic, because everybody else does it. And as long as you're keeping things like simple, you can genuinely skip some steps, like skip some work. Like the question is, how much work are you skipping? And that's a very different question. But that said, the second problem, don't you need some sort of Markdown transpiler? And Markdown is not really specified where you have different flavors of MD. Well, I already have that. That's this thing. This guy. It's the Markdown renderer. They're separate because they're meant to be injected into other contexts. Yeah, that's I don't know. That's how people used to do it, I guess. I think that if you go into the Hugo documentation, I think you can also see that if you look at stuff that you can do in templates, um, functions, let's see, methods, Hugo modules. What the fuck is a Hugo module? And even mount directories from non-Hugo projects for a big virtual union file system. Hugo modules are powered by Go modules. What? So we're talking about like dependencies. Wait, how does this work? Is a thing that has been ported to Hugo modules while testing this feature. A non-Hugo project mounted into Hugo's folder structure. It even shows a JS bundler implementation in regular Go templates. My modular site. There's a Go mod. Hugo Fresh. So basically now Hugo mod get. So I guess they're bundling all of Go inside Hugo. Holy shit. Okay, let's see. Let's try to find what I wanted to show. Page content. Let's look. Page content. The content method of a page object renders Markdown and shortcodes to HTML. The content does not include front matter. So maybe I'm wrong, but I remember that at some point you were not able to access the content of another Markdown file, of another page. So like navigating to a page, like navigating to other pages would not allow you to look at that page's content. Render hooks. Oh, these are like tiny snippets. Yeah, of course. Okay, so what I'm thinking is that maybe we should really make this big change and get rid of Markdown Render as a standalone executable, period, and just have the layout do this work every single time. The only thing that we would lose, actually, we would lose pretty much nothing, because If you touch the Markdown, then you still have to rerun the layout executable anyway. If you touch the layout, you don't have to re-render the Markdown, but the problem is, like, I guess the core assertion here is that loading the rendered stuff from disk is not all that different than just doing the work of rendering it. We don't know if this is true or false. Would be nice to be able to measure this. You know what we can do? Yeah, let's do it. Let's add timing to Markdown render. Let's add timings to loading assets, the render stuff from disk, and let's see how big of a difference there is. There's gonna be some. The question is, like, is it worth it or not? So Markdown render. Here's what we're doing. I think content has some code that we can steal. Scan variant. Render MD string out file dep file page meta. We also want to load the page meta. So this is what we want to measure: page meta and rendered MD string. Oh, fuck. I wanted to close this into a scope, but then that makes it problematic. Guess no defer for us. Layout as well. So annoying, man. Yeah, but I don't want milliseconds. I need something more precise than this. What do we got? Yeah, I think we should upgrade to nanos with everything. You know what? Okay, so here's... Oh, okay. Wait, I know how to make everybody happy. Yeah, like this. Yeah, actually, milliseconds outside, nanoseconds inside. Okay. So rendering takes 3-4 milliseconds. Loading from disk takes 0 milliseconds. Five million nanoseconds versus 7,000, 75,000 nanoseconds. But this is debug. What about release? Fuck, release doesn't log. That's... So now in release fast, rendering Markdown takes 1 millisecond and a half. Loading from disk, it still takes one good 0. It's like it's 1 digit less. 1 full digit less. I don't know if that counts for a order of magnitude. I think an order of magnitude sometimes is considered more than 1 digit, but still, let's say 1 order of magnitude. You know what we're missing? We're missing parsing some of this stuff, because there's also the Ziggy parsing that we need to account for. Where does the Ziggy... Yeah, now it's Ziggy Stringify. Chromatic parser parse arena R. Buff reader. Wait, are we... Wait. So, this is rendering. Wait, yeah. Where's layout? I18N. Translation index page. We need to count also this in our measurement, because this is the problem. The problem is not just loading stuff from this, but it's also parsing it. And I think that the Ziggy part will have its own weight. So we went from about 120,000 nanoseconds, 120,000 nanoseconds, 68,000 nanoseconds. This one was very small. We went up to 300,000, 100,000, 600,000. So it seems that parsing Ziggy is still significantly faster than parsing Markdown, but Markdown is right now is using a, with all due respect, very shitty parser written in C. Well, I shouldn't say very shitty. It's the C mark parser. It's not shitty, but it's definitely not trying to be maximally performant. And we can probably write a better parser than that in terms of performance. Let me put it this way. Maybe, I don't know if I can write a better Markdown parser than CMark, but I can write a better parser for a better language. I think that's a more safe statement. So I think that my conclusion is that collapsing Markdown rendering inside of layout is not a bad idea. Vercel has serverless functions. It supports JS and Go and Rust. I'm waiting for Zig to contribute to this, just like how Rust contributed, so that people can use Zig-based serverless functions at Vercel. I personally don't have a super good opinion of serverless functions, but people should use whatever they like. And if Vercel and company eventually implement Zig support, man, all the power to them. Go nuts. Go nuts. I really think this is not a bad idea. I really think this is not a bad idea. So that puts a dependency from the executable to the file itself. And then we put dependencies on other file themselves. Like we just simplify also the dependency tracking. Yeah, I think that there is a lot to win. A lot more to win than there is to lose by doing this. And this will simplify so many other things. I'm sold on this idea. So fair warning, we're going on an adventure. Then I head off to work. No problem, thumb. See you next time. Okay. Yeah. I'm convinced. I thought about it long enough, and it's time to do it. So, build script, content. So, right now we do add all steps, Markdown rendering, and then passes down the rendered stuff to the other thing. Well, not anymore, my friend. Not anymore. Not anymore. So the idea is this: we comment this out. Project we pass down, step, index step, layout. We do pass down contender path. This, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I guess this is this. This is this. Output path prefix. Output path prefix is there. Meta permalink. We don't pass down here the meta permalink. It's fine. We'll figure it out. No more rendered content. No more rendered meta. Holy shit, this is going to be so good. So layout step now. No more render MD. No more meta. Oh god, render MD was like the first. Was the first fucking argument being passed down. God damn it, this is gonna annoy me a ton. So what we want to do, I guess, is we want to turn these two things. So these two things don't exist anymore, but we're gonna replace them. We're gonna replace them with these two last. Like we're turning the last two arguments into these two arguments. So layout. These two arguments go here. They become 2 and 3. Man, this is such a good idea. Yeah, now that I'm actually doing it, this is such a good idea, and it feels so good. Okay, so now we have this, and now we have this. By the way, we were supposed to de-regress something, and now we're like, now we're regressing the fuck out of everything. Yeah. Fuck it. Let's just do this. Let's go. It's a journey through regression land. I agree. And you know what's funny is that actually this is not going to be so too terrible to change, because guess what? guess what? We take the Markdown renderer, and instead of making it like an executable with a main function that accepts arguments like this, like we turn it into a function. No, it took too much. Okay, start from here. And then go into select mode and then match match. Actually, you know what's simpler? We do this. Yeah. Oh, this is not void, but like, I don't know. We'll figure out what to put there. Okay, and now we turn these things into parameters. We turn them into yeah, we turn them into parameters. Everything else is pretty much the same. Some things can even be simpler. Assets in path, assets depth path, assets out path. This is for copying assets. Yeah, well, this is like a starting point. For example, that path needs to be turned into like a handle to the existing dep file, I think. Probably a good idea. Assets in path. Yeah, some of these things are a little bit problematic right now. But like we don't have out paths anymore. Yeah, this is nice. And the idea is that we can call this from inside scripty. So inside scripty, like we trigger parsing the markdown only if you want to parse the markdown. I think this is going to be a good I think this is going to be a good thing for our performance. Okay, let's continue adapting things. So assets in there, whatever. Asset step file. Well, I guess we can make this our argument. Asset depth file. Just make it a writer, I guess, at this point. Out file becomes this. No, we'll have to think about what the out file needs to be. Meta out file also will have to think about what that needs to be. Asset depth file.write all. I think we can call it just asset depth. Who? We don't do this, do we? Yeah, we don't do this. We do this, yes. Play Fortnite. No, thank you. So I guess page is a Ziggy file. Wait, actually, how did we stringify page? No, okay, we care about the other page. No, var page. It's a context.page. Right. Maybe we can call it FM for front matter. Although, I mean, it is a page. Oh well. So we do get this. Then let's see. Input string. Bunch of options. Set things into page. Word count. Permalink is permalink. Right. Buffer writer. Let's call this buff. And now we have a writer to it. And buff is going to be our, well, I guess we can call it like HTML maybe. Buff. Do the rendering. Nothing to flash. And so that's how it works. Okay. So let's see if we can make this work now. So inside layout, so render empty string and page meta. Actually, page. Okay, there's going to be some things that are problematic now, I think. So assets dirt path, that's easy. That file we promote up here so that we can grab result. Or you know what, we just delay result until we have that. Oh, that file, do we have a buffer writer for it? Yeah, let's do this right away. Dep writer. Rendered MD path, layout path. No, it's not rendered MD path. It's do we have MD path? What do we have? MD name. Yeah, but MD name is not enough. Let's put MD name there for a moment, but that's not enough. Assets out path. Okay, I think we need to make these paths ourselves. Hmm. Okay, give me a sec. I need a short break, and then we compute this pass, stupid pass, and then we try to make this work. I'll be right back. Okay, got some airflow going. Whew. Time to do the work. So we need to turn this Markdown name into a proper Markdown path. Also, are we doing this work twice? Does the Markdown renderer also do this kind of stuff? Where do we use the assets depth writer? Copy local images, skip duplicates, skip non-local images. Oh my god, this code. What a fucking mess, man. This code. Oh man, yeah. It's so nice to be finally at in a place where you can where we can do better. So, I guess the question is, why are we doing it like this? Why are we even passing in paths in this way? You know what? Daredevil was commenting earlier that maybe things would improve with more lazy paths. In most of the things that I was doing earlier, no. But you know what? Passing around file paths to Markdown file as lazy paths, that would definitely be one improvement, I think. Definitely an improvement. Yeah, like we should not be doing this here. Like this, I mean. Like we shouldn't have to put the Markdown file in the depth, in our depth file, for example. Well, I mean, let me think. No, we always depend on the fucking file. That is a guarantee. So let's not do this. Also, the layout path. Why are we depending on the layout path, man? Why is the layout path not a lazy path? Was I making a mess when I did this? Yeah. It's already a file argument. God damn it. I was already doing the right thing. Oh no, it already was a project path. Ah. God damn it, man. Assets out path. Maybe we should regress assets out path stuff entirely. We're not getting any assets out path here, are we? Okay, so here's how we improve this. I guess we can add a couple things from the build script. We can get, for example, not only the MD base name, but also the content dir path, maybe also. Like b.path, content dir path, and then .path base name. No, I think that the base name is less than even that. What we're getting here we're getting the base name. Look, oh, here's how this works. I'm changing the Markdown base name to, oh. Oh, this is just missing the content dir path. Do we have that? But why is this not a path? Why is this not a project path? We're passing in the content dir path. Yeah, you know what? Okay, so here's what we do. We leave MD name as it was, and then we add a new thing. Oh, I didn't undo enough. Yeah, now this is a file arg, so we depend on it naturally. Okay, so now we have MD path. MD path. We don't have assets out path though. And assets dir path was also, I think, not what we mean in this context. Let me see. Add directory arg. Project path join. Yeah, this was the assets dir path. Right. Have you somehow linked your Twitter to Blue Sky? Notice you have the same exact post. Are now you're looking at the incredible power of Simplex. Simplex is it's a shell script that basically sends the same posts on Mastodon, Twitter, Blue Sky, and LinkedIn. That's it. That's the long and short of it. Okay, we need to create this their arg, I guess. Add directory arg. What? page assets dir path, content dir path, content subpath. We were being given this. Content dir path, content subpath, page.content subpath. Oh, we do have that. It's above MD name. Content subpath, we do have it. I mean, fine. So this is in, and what about render step add output file arg dot. And then install subpath after permalink. Install subpath after permalink. And then we were doing install assets. Add install directory. Source assets there. Oh shit. Okay, I now understand the trick that we were pulling off. Yeah, this is really like a trip down regression lane. Holy cow. Let's keep assets for now, because we have to change them anyway. So like add this directory arg, page assets dir path. Let's not do this for now. We stop at MD path. We don't have an assets out path. Even the assets dir path, we don't really have. Let's regress this for now. Let's regress everything that doesn't compile. Okay, so we have regressed all of this stuff. Okay, we have regressed some things, but some more things. But we should have restored the ability to render simple markdowns with fewer steps now. Once we fix all the build errors, of course. Except this or that after statement. Oh no, I left that malformed thing in content. God damn it. Unused function parameter. Renderer. What is renderer? Oh, the markdown renderer. Ooh. Oh, fuck. Where am I? There's more for sure. Except lazy path found a non-lazy path. 801. MD name. Macro render error. Okay, so next thing. Tools. Render doesn't exist anymore. Then what's the other one? Oh, the return type. Expected type. Markdown found a bunch of errors. Yeah, there's a bunch of tries. Okay. Simmer GFM file not found. Fair. Now we need to link against a bunch of new stuff. So this still exists. These guys still exist. Where's layout? And use argument. If I have an unused argument, it's in here. Oh, yeah. I should not be doing release fast. I should do debug. Error while trying to parse post / first post.md is there. Is there? Really? This is there? Oh, fuck. I always forget to increase this stupid fucking. Content MD is there. Assets and then static. That is not what I was expecting to see there at all. The heck is going on here, man? Absolutely not what I was expecting to see. content dir path, content subpath, MD base name. Oh, I'm a fucking moron. Oh no. These guys need to go down here. Everything else was shifted. Oh, like what a mess. So there we go. Seems that it worked. Man, it's so comfy to stay inside static. Okay, we're rendering. We're in business. Can we do summary all? Or summary new? Let's change one of the content files and let's see what happens. Three milliseconds. 3 milliseconds to run everything in debug mode. Okay, so this is good, but we're not yet functional. So one regression solved, 2 regressions to go. So we were 3 regressions in, now we're just 2 regressions in. Maybe I should update this. What's nice is that now we're in a better position to fix the regression of section indices. So I'm gonna do this one now, and then I'm gonna do page assets probably offline. So how do we know about sections and everything else? Who tells us about that is the index. We have the asset index. Great. But now we also need to write down the page index, which we were doing already before, but now we need to be a little bit, we need to implement it in a different way. And like, we can probably dramatically simplify all the weird shit that we were doing before. So we're going to content, and into content, let's look at how the pipeline works again from scratch, from the beginning. It's always like a good exercise. So we create the index dir path. We make a path build. We need to make another path called sections, maybe. Maybe build could become build assets. It'd be nice if this was like some kind of global variable that could be shared by these systems so that it never goes out of whack, but it's not like a thing that needs to be updated in 10 different places, but whatever. So sections. It's probably not a bad idea to keep these paths short, though. Maybe BNS is a better idea. Maybe even A for asset, S for sections or site. That works. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. We're going to be able to make these things more interesting later on. And maybe we can really make a variable for these. Uh, okay, we make a path for... Maybe we can even make an open path. Yeah, let's make an open path. Oh, fuck. Okay, now I remember why this needed to be a path. Because we cannot write from inside here. Never mind. Okay. Scan variant. Index translation. What does index translation do? Side effects to the main index. And then write translation index. Write translation index. This is us. This is totally something that we need to maybe take a look at. Really weird. I guess we'll be able to fix it in the future though, because I think the rest of the fun stuff happens in all steps, right? At the end of it. Or not? Oh, no, it's here. It's at the end of this thing. Okay, so we read the front matter, we reason about it, we update our indices. That is all well and good. We don't bother saving the front matter. There's no point. Content subpath, MD name, subpages. So then what we do is, for each section, we write an index for its the section, and then we write meta for each page. That's what we were doing, which now we toggled off a while ago. Yeah, so this entire concept of an index needs to change. Okay. So now how do we make these smart? How do we make this smart? Right now, I think that what we care about is pretty much only the section index. We really do not care about writing metas at all. Writing the index is the only thing that makes sense. So we want to do this. And here we were doing it as a step. We were doing a write file step. Oh. We were doing a write file step. But I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do it write manually. Okay. Section, project, index directory. Now this needs to become site index directory. Let's make sure that we're given the right thing. Isn't the clear thingy site index there? Okay. Let's see what we want to keep. Yes, we want to sort the pages in this section. Yes. Let's take a look at each page in here. A section contains a page, contains the front matter. Fine. Contains the front matter, contains an MD name. We need also like a position. Well, but after write index, everything will be already naturally like this. Okay. Like, why do we even need one section index that contains all the pages? Like, why do we care? Let me think. Because if somebody cares about all the pages in an index, then we want a dependency on one file that contains the entire list. And that is indeed correct. Okay. What is our name, though? You can read this content subpath. We don't know if this contains the file name, the Markdown name or not, though. Also, a section contains... Wait, a section contains the pages that it contains? What about its, like, index? Toggled off to try the index dir strat. Not used while iterating directories. Yeah, no, what is its main page? Right, the index is not a section. But how do I identify a section? Fuck. A section needs to be identifiable. God fucking damn it. How are we doing this? Wait, how are we doing right index? Section there was based on S content subpath len. I think that this is a logic that I want to recreate. Oh, actually, okay. I thought I was doing a write file of some kind. What the heck was happening here? What a mess. So section there. If s dot content subpath. Oh, but sorry, I wasn't dreaming. There is a content subpath property that this thing is expected to have. It doesn't even fucking have it. What happened? A page has content subpath, but not a section. I think we nuked this. Yeah, we kind of nuked that property from it at some point, and we'll need to restore it. Okay. Okay, so we have the section file. And then we write all what? Buff.items, which was a Ziggy stringified thing. Nah, we don't use Ziggy anymore. Just want a list of files. That's gonna be good enough. page, content subpath, an empty name. Perfect. Okay, this is the section index. Then we need a private next index. Private next index. For each for each page, we create a file that contains at the next and prev markdown files. The file is named after the sorting order of the original, well, of the Unix section. So this means okay, now it's gonna be something like this. For okay, for each page, we print stuff in the buffer. Oh, I had a copy of that there. It has to be something along those lines. We keep reusing the same buffer. We write something into it. And then we open a file. We write into the file. Then we close it. And then we move to the next file. Okay. Page file. So section directory, create file. We're not going to call it S. We're going to call it a number. Okay, index. Perfect. What do we print in there? We need to print like the previous and the next. I think I have the code for prev and next, but I commented it out somewhere. It's kind of like this. This is where we were doing this, I think. Oh well. I'm gonna delete write meta because we really don't write meta anymore. Writing meta is not, shouldn't even be an option. Ziggy stringify options doesn't matter. Do we use empty string? Yeah, I think we should use empty string for missing file. Oh, what's nice is that we can make this the MD name. They don't have to be. Do we even need the content subpath? We don't even necessarily need the content subpath. We can probably just make do with the MD name, maybe? Oh, we'll see. I think here the MD name is enough. I guess worst case we can fine tune these as we go. Yeah, just write down private next. Okay, this should be it. Oh, what's funny is that we don't even need P. Huh. That's kind of fair. Interesting. Oh well. Okay. So this should make us write the index. We're not using it yet, but it should make us do it. Express of the two arguments found one. Make open path. We're missing content subsection. Yeah. I want to see if from another branch if when did we regress that? Section never had content subpath. What? I guess because we were kind of using it at some point, we were installing it, I think. Yeah, the problem is that we were installing it. Yeah, we were installing it in a relative fashion. That's the thing. Okay. So when we find an index.md, that's a new section, right? It's going fine. Current section, it becomes sections.add one. There we go. I'm kind of realizing that probably the content about is shared between all these things. No, it's not. Never mind. Okay, so we have it. We have it set up. Okay. Let's see how we do now. No field name draft instruct parser page, blah, 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 blah. What? Dude, I swear to God, I haven't changed anything. FM equals... Oh, because FM was something different before. Okay, that's a oopsie doopsie. FM was not the original front matter, it was something else. We were grabbing header, we were setting some things, we were doing some counting, and then we were returning H. Oh, H is what? S dot header. Dot header. Header. Okay, whatever. That's the point is that we needed to do dot header. And now we do dot header. And everybody's happy. Oh, fuck. Is that the pointer? Found const. Yeah. I think this is not going to make the type system happy, though. Apparently, yes. Okay. Error, file not found. asset index dir in index assets. Yeah, I think there's a name that I forgot to sync up. Assets is just an A. Make path A. Make path S. Index dir path. Pass down. Write asset index. Path join. Index dir path A. There you go. Boom. There we go. There you go. Will Zig ever add support for operator overloading? No. Does that go against Zig's philosophy? I guess you could say yes, but I wouldn't look at it necessarily. I mean, you can look at it as a philosophy thing. That's fair, I guess. But I think a more useful way of looking at it is that, like everything, it's trade-offs, right? You gain something sometimes by making certain choices, but you give up something else. Different set of choices gives you different set of perks and a different set of like downsides, right? So in the case of Zig, one thing that the trade-offs are always trying to preserve is to make it as easy as possible to understand Zig code by reading it. Operator overloading makes it harder to reason about the code because you don't know if a given operator is doing the basic thing or something more complicated. Plus, now you need to have rules for deciding, how you can or cannot overload an operator. What do you do, when you also have the problem where you do maybe A plus B, but then you do B plus A, and now you get a different result because a different operator overload was selected and whatnot. So in general, Zig just says, no, we don't do any of that. We lose all that ease, I guess, of typing, like that expressivity in some ways, but in exchange, reading Zig code is a lot more obvious. And so that's the trade-off that Zig is going for. So you will see that basically a lot of choices in Zig are like this. Like, for example, Zig is also very greppable. When you want to see if a function is being called, you will find references to that function, like explicit references to that function pretty much everywhere. You can take a function, assign it to another variable, and then use that, or like pluck a pointer from it, assign it to a struct field, do runtime shenanigans. So it's not like your hands are completely tied. If you want to do complicated stuff, you can still do it. But in general, searching for a symbol name gives you a lot of info. It's very easy to track where a symbol is going, where it's being used, just by graphing. That's another property that Zig tries to preserve. So I would say that's kind of the idea. And I guess my point is that if you leave it as philosophy, then it's a matter of, do I like the philosophy? Do I agree with the philosophy? Do I disagree with the philosophy? I cannot. There's people who just cannot live without operator overloading. And as if you just think of it as a philosophy thing, then you will maybe come to the conclusion that just Zig is just stupid or something. While in reality, if you understand the trade-offs, then you can still disagree. You can say, well, you know what, this is a trade-off that I don't find compelling. It doesn't suit my programming style, but at least it's not like an arbitrary decision of people wanting to impose on you their aesthetics. It's something more practical. I agree in some ways, but when I'm doing vec3.add, vec3.mul, a.sub b mul2. Why are you doing vec3.add instead of calling those as methods? Like, why are you not doing a.sub b.mul2. Wait, what are you actually multiplying that thing with? Just a random example. Okay. It's just that the calls from the class itself are, well, the struct itself are, okay, my brain couldn't parse them, but I get your point. Yeah, that is a downside. That is a downside that comes from that trade-off. I think that the use case of vector multiplication, matrix multiplication is the one use case that might deserve some extra attention in that sense. But I don't know, man. At the same time, that thing is still the Wild West as well. You have Microsoft that likes the right-hand rule, and all the matrix multiplications are like backwards, and I can't make sense of them because they look so weird. And then you have, I don't know, I guess my point is that even if you pick one representation, you're still not making everybody happy anyway, unless you give them full-blown overloading, and some people will overload things one way, some people will overload it the other. I don't know. Okay, there we go. So this makes a lot more sense as is. This makes a lot more sense as is. So now we have this nice index. Someone working on the Z compiler gave a good talk on data-oriented programming. Yeah, that there are. Maybe you're referring to Matthew Lag, or you're referring to Andrew. They did talks. They're the two guys who did talks on DoD in Zig. I think it was LambdaConf. I think that at LambdaConf, maybe you had Richard Feldman go and say something. I don't think, as far as I know, they did. I don't think that there were core people from the Zig core team that went to LambdaConf and gave a talk on DoD. But I don't know. If you have a link, I'll happy to check it out. And I can tell you who was there, who was not, etc. Although it might be that there was somebody reposted recently Andrew's talk on DoD from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe even, that he gave at Handmade Seattle. The thing is that Handmade Seattle has its videos on Vimeo, while somebody took the video, posted it on YouTube, and now the video got like 50,000 views and counting. Is this the yeah. Yep. Okay, so we're writing our index as we should 2 years ago. You know what? Maybe it says 2 years now, but it's like it's almost 3. I think it's gonna be 3 years in November, in like 2-3 months. Any case, Prep next index. Okay, we're good. We're good with indices. We're doing a good job. Next is got me to take booleans out of all my structs. Next is consuming this stuff. So now layout needs to know how to wire this stuff because it was all commented out. Oh man, look at this. Prev meta, next meta. Disgusting. Subpages meta. Disgusting as well. Okay, so basically we were hooking up inside meta sub pages as a oh my god, a list of pages. Jesus Christ, what were we doing? Oh no. Okay, we're improving this. We're improving this. Holy shit. Holy shit, we're improving this. So there is no subsections. There is no prev next. There is no prev next. There's only so host extern here needs to be renamed to assets, I think. Right? What were we doing in here? This is page. Yeah, this is assets, and they're gonna be. I don't know if there's gonna be static, but in any case, there's gonna be maybe next prev and then section. So there's gonna be section, and then there's gonna be prev next, I guess. The problem is that call doesn't have a ton of interesting parameters that you can give to it. One for prev, one for next? Really? Yeah. Now, I feel like we kind of would like to have one that can do all of these things. The problem is that the interface is kind of sucks. That's because we're trying to use one host extern for everything, and we don't want to make different host externs. But maybe we should. But that's also like an improvement for the future. So yeah, assets section, ref next. With this, we have everything. Yeah, I guess that's how we make this work. Although it's very clear that they should share a cache, but until we do the caching thing. Okay, let's go wire this stuff in, I guess. Maybe what we can do is fix the built-ins also. Let's see. Translations stays the same. Word count. I think that we hardcore regress word count now. But we don't have to. Let's look at the source code. Letters divided by 5. Wait, really? That's how we do it? Really? That's how we do it? Wait, do we do it better in Markdown render? Not only we do it potentially better, we do it in a different way. Awesome. God damn it. Okay. Sub pages. Oh, Jesus. Sub meta sub pages. Like this? Oh, I think I know how to make this nicer. Okay, so this is okay like this, at least kinda. Is section. Meta is section. We probably want to write that info down. Next page per page. Subpage is called doesn't get any args. No, I don't think it should. Well, no, I don't think it should. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Has next. Oh man, there's a lot of work to do. Okay, you know what? I'm losing pressure. I'm losing capping pressure. I'm getting real tired. So I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna stop the stream, take a break. I have a meeting probably in half an hour, so I'm gonna relax a little bit, and then I think I'm gonna continue tonight. After this is done, we will have back section indexes, at which point we figure out page assets, and we are gonna be back with a vengeance. And at that point, man, the things that we will be able to do, the things that we will be able to pull off in like surgical dependency tracking. This is gonna be good. This is definitely gonna be good. So, in any case, thank you all, and I'll see you next time. So, let me see if there's anybody streaming from the Z community. I'm gonna rate them, otherwise I'm gonna call it a day. There doesn't seem to be anybody. So, just quick check. Yeah, no, we're good. So